This is a video from the Satanic Panic back in the 80s. Absolutely unhinged stuff. They're convinced that, like, Satanists are around every corner, like, torturing kids and stuff. It's nuts. Let's give this a listen. A law enforcement guide to satanic cults.
These things may or may not be satanic kinds of rituals, but they're important to note in your reporting because they would fit together in a fabric as follow-up investigations might indicate a deeper need to look into the dark side of your community.
So anytime there's an arson, anytime you find an example of somebody taking advantage of a kid or hurting a kid, you need to write down in your report, your police report, this could be linked to satanic ritual abuse. You know, something that this book pointed out that I was reading on this subject recently is, you know how sometimes you have like psychics that go to police stations and say, I can solve these crimes for you, solve these murders and all that. Here's how it worked with the Satanic Panic. These satanic cult experts, like this guy, for example, will claim that some event was linked to satanic ritual abuse. Like, there's a case of a kid being abused by his dad, and the cops show up and they write a report on it. And since this guy is in the cops' ears telling them, hey, this could be linked to satanic ritual abuse or whatever, they cite him in the report. According to cult expert, blah, 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 he says that this could be linked to satanic ritual abuse. And now he goes around pointing to this stuff saying, look, police reports validate what I'm saying. So that it's like a self-reinforcing chain is what it is. People claiming that they know something, and then people that have legitimacy believing them, and then them using that to reinforce their believability, you know.
So note them well and ask the investigators to do a little further follow-up if you find any of these indicated in a crime or in a police report.
Tools of Satanism. Dude, this music is sick.
There is a difference between Satanism, voodoo, and witchcraft.
Okay, and what is that difference? Like I said earlier, previously, I'm not sure if it's in the same part, but the guy that came up with Wicca back in the 50s, I think, claims that he found a tribe out in the middle of nowhere that was a continual, unbroken line of Wiccans, of people who practice like magic and things like that. That's what like Wicca is nowadays. Paganism is the belief in other gods, like other than Christianity or whatever. Like the way that it's used by the Catholic Church, at the very least, for example, or other Christian denominations. It's the belief in like Odin or Thor or Zeus or whatever. Those would be pagans. And I'm not sure what the occult is, though. I don't know what it's supposed to be. The occult is that supposed to be like practicing witchcraft, I guess, or something? And how does that differ from Satanism in these people's minds? Like, all of these terms are made up by these people, so it's hard to know which thing has some level of validity and in what way, you know, or whatever.
And what I'd like to do is show you different altar setups so you can familiarize yourself with how these people operate and their various different paraphernalia. These particular groups that I'm going to show you the different altar setups of are the type of groups that would most probably be involved in criminal activity. While you wouldn't find all this stuff at a crime scene, you will find evidence that they have been at a crime scene. For instance, you might find something like this pin here, which is used to penetrate a pulpit.
Oh, please, no.
Pulpit like we have sitting here.
Penetrate a pulpit? What does he mean by that?
Which is used to penetrate a pulpit like we have sitting here.
I don't know what that means.
But then again, there are other things that might be left behind that would indicate voodoo. Now, voodoo is colorful.
Okay, voodoo, to my knowledge, like, I don't know what they mean by these terms exactly. It's so hard to know what they mean exactly. I think in their minds, voodoo is like an African practice of, I don't know, witchcraft or whatever, I suppose. I'm not sure what he means exactly by this.
And usually beads and shells are associated with it. What you're looking at here is 2 small conch shells and some beads. Now this is what a priest would put on the necklace, such as I'm wearing here. This would indicate high priesthood. You might find conches like this with beads. You might find powders like this left behind. And this is the type of stuff that would usually be left behind in a crime scene. You're not going to find candles intact, and if you do, you might find a candle very similar to the one I'm holding here.
I just finished writing a book titled Was Hitler an Atheist? It talks about religions during the Third Reich and how they worked together. Catholics, Jehovah's Witnesses, and Protestants. And I even address the lies told by the evangelical world about Bonhoeffer. It's on Audible and Amazon. Okay, let's continue. I remember there's something about this type of candle. I don't remember what's special about it, but it's some style that's common for certain things.
Now you might look at this candle and say, well, what makes this candle different? Well, first of all, any candle that's used in Santeria, Macumba,
Oh, please. Now he's talking about Santeria.
or Voodoo generally will have a patron saint on the front. Now this is the saint that they would be paying obeisances to, you know, lighting the nicotine up to, drinking the rum to, and smoking the cigar smoke to. But on the back, it'll have a prayer to that patron saint. That is only indicative.
Right. Isn't this a Catholic thing? I feel like this is a Catholic candle or something, right? Voodoo, because black people evil. These people disgust me, right? I don't practice Santeria, got no crystal ball. Me either. Absolutely. But if I had $1 million... Wait, I'd spend it all. If I had $1 million, I would definitely spend it all.
To candles used in Santeria, Macumba, and Voodoo. Another thing that you might find would be small vials like this. These vials will contain some type of a ritual oil. Usually these oils are poured over a coal in a ritual practice.
I mean, all of this is made up, completely made up, probably by these people on screen right here. So
you might find a lot of empty oil vials at a ritual site. What you're looking at here is a classical satanic altar setup. Now, there are more than one type of satanic group. There are rogue satanic groups where you have a bunch of young people that get together and they read books such as the Satanic Bible by Anton Sanzer LaVey, or some of the stuff that is published by the Temple of Set, which is also another large church of Satan.
Again, I said this previously, not sure if it was in this part or another, but there are cases of, there was a case of mailbox bombs, where kids were putting bombs in mailboxes and blowing them up, and they thought it was funny, and the news kept covering it, and it was like this scary situation because somebody reaches into their mailbox and it explodes and blow their arm off or something. You know, everyone was all freaked out over it, and the news channels and the newspapers, they all decided to stop covering it, stop talking about it entirely, and the problem went away. There were no more there were no more mailbox bombings after that because attention was not being drawn to it. So the point is, I would guess if anything that he's saying right now is real, it's because they started making claims about all this. So like the people on screen here, satanic panic people, they started making claims that all this shit was happening, and now kids want to f with them, so they join these groups and get a copy of the Satanic Bible and all of that. That's as far as I'll go. That is the most that I will give them. Everything else here is bullshit.
But now an organized satanic group has an organized way of setting up its altar. What you're looking at here is a classical satanic altar setup. It's very Spartan. 2 candle holders. One candle would have a white, one would have a black. You'd have a Baphomet candle in the center, or a Mendes goat is what it's called. You would have a male candle on the left-hand side and a female candle on the right-hand side. You would have a skull, which is considered the barrier of death, and a bell to ring for each one of the 9 satanic statements. And they would ring it.
I don't know if any of this is real, but okay.
You would also have two ceremonial daggers. One ceremonial dagger is actually used in directing the forces of magic, the way occultists would do that, as in directing their powers. And the other dagger, which would be called a bolane, would actually be used in ritual work.
Ritual work as in killing animals and or people.
Stop it. Get some help.
If I were going to sacrifice someone, I would use my bolane. It's considered a working knife. So in a satanic altar setup, you're always going to look for two knives.
Oh, we got witchcraft now. He's covering witchcraft.
Okay, what you're looking at here is
I mean, if you remember, this is the guy that just showed up to a park, any random park, and found like 1 billion satanic symbols seemingly out of nowhere. So he's got to know what he's talking about to be able to just like find that stuff like that, just out of the blue. He's got an eye like an eagle. So you got to know he's telling the truth, right?
Basic witchcraft setup. Now, the difference is you don't see the bells. You don't see the Satanic Bible. And you'll see a couple extra things here. For instance, most witches are very adept at using the tarot. Witches are very, very big on an art called scrying or fortune telling. Another interesting addition is that, notice, the candle holders are wooden. Witches perceive themselves to be nature-centered religious belief systems, so that they use as many natural elements as possible. The other thing is, instead of having a ceremonial dagger like we have here that would be used in Satanism, they would just use a very simple one dagger. That's called an athame. Now, the athame is used when they charge the wine, which would be in the chalice.
They charge the wine. Will they charge it what? What are they charging it for?
The athame would be used when they charge the wine, which would be in the chalice, the salt, which would be in the salt bowl, and the water, which would be in the water bowl, as well as the incense. Another interesting addition we have here is Kyrnos. This is one of the gods of the witches. And the center for any witchcraft...
Kyrnos? Let me look here. Kyrnos, witch god. Keranos? Is he saying Keranos? Hold on. I don't know what he's talking about. What was it?
This is one of the gods. Interesting addition we have here is Kyrnos.
Kyrnos, Kyrnos, a character in Greek myth series Kyros Secret by Elizabeth Rose. In the story, it looks like it's Kairos. Kairos is cursed by Ares, the god of war, for his brash attitude and backtalk. The curse transforms Kairos into a centaur from sunset to dawn. Is this a centaur that we're looking at here?
Another interesting addition we have here is Kyrnos.
I don't know what he's talking about. Cernunnos? Cernunnos? Is that what it is? A Celtic god of nature, animals, fertility, and the wilds? Is that what that is? Yeah. You're right, Nericol. That's what it is. It's Cernunnos. How's it pronounced?
Cernunnos.
Cernunnos. That's how it's pronounced. Cernunnos.
Another interesting addition we have here is Kyrnos. This is
Cernunnos, not Kyrnos. Okay.
One of the gods of the witches. And
I think what that is, it's not a god of the witches. It's just like an old Celtic god. You know, Greeks used to have gods they worshipped. Zeus and God, who are some of the other Greek gods? Zeus, Hera, Poseidon, Ares, Aphrodite, and then there were the Roman gods, Apollo, Ceres, Jupiter, Juno, Neptune, Cupid, and then there were the Germanic gods, Thor, Odin or Woden, Loki, those types of deals. That's what we're dealing with. This is just a Celtic god. It's not a witch god. What?
The center for any witchcraft altarpiece will have either Kyrnos, which is...
This is so stupid, bro. Cernunnos
is the god of the witches, or Diana. Another thing that witches will often have on their altar is a mortar and pestle, because they work a lot with pharmakeia, or various different incenses.
Pharmakia in most evangelical minds is the demon of medicine, basically, or drugs. So it's like in Greg Locke's mind, for example, he believes that, oh, look at this. This box piece is standing upright. Greg Locke believes that if you have high blood pressure, it's because you are possessed by the demon of pharmakia. And if you just stop taking the medicine, stop taking your blood pressure medicine, and exorcise the demons, go through an exorcism, then you will no longer have high blood pressure. It'll go away. That is so ridiculously unsafe and disturbing that these people believe this shit. It's nuts.
Now, this is an incense we have here that would be used in ritual practice. Notice they're very bright in color. There are many different kinds. These are the kind of things that you might find left over at a crime scene. You might find...
Oh my God, dude, get help. Really?
Stop it. Get some help.
For real.
Find little piles of colored, it looks like chalk, but it's not chalk.
Well, what is it?
It's actually incense.
Incense. No, 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 we can't have that. Incense is bad because it's used by Satanists, you see.
And if you were to take it and smell it, it usually has a very fragrant smell. Another thing that you'll find is usually there's chalk.
Didn't he literally just say this?
There's usually a piece of red chalk and a piece of white chalk. This is used to draw a circle around the ritual area.
Again, like, I'm sure I don't need to say it, but I'm going to say it again just for good measure. Dude is completely full of shit. Completely full of shit. There's probably some stupid kid out there who decided it was going to be fun to do this stuff because he wanted to fuck with idiots like this. But this isn't, like, practiced by cultists who are trying to sacrifice humans or whatever other shit. Come on, man.
And it's called a boundary between the worlds. And then what they will do is make various different magical symbols in those circles, believing that these symbols will seal off an area. Now, witches are known for their...
Wait, are they witches or are they Satanists? They're not the same, are they? I guess in his mind they are.
Their artwork, their drawing of symbols.
See, Satanists are known for their artwork and their symbolism. Now we can say any artwork that I don't like, any degenerate art, if you will, as the Nazis called it, is satanic. Get help, bro.
Their use of colored powders. And of course, the use of natural products like wooden candle holders, even wooden knives. And so this would be more indicative of witchcraft. As you have seen, the difference between the items you might find on an altar from the various different occult styles is subtle. When you pay attention, you'll see that there is indeed a distinct difference. These differences will give you the understanding of the type of group you're dealing with. And when you know the type of group you're dealing with, you'll also learn to understand how they think, where they'll congregate, and where they'll be.
They're just stupid kids at best. Seriously, man. How do people fall for this? How did the satanic panic get so big? Like, that people to this degree were obsessive over this nonsense.
There are many different satanic symbols. Here are a few of the more common ones. The inverted cross. This is used to defame the Christian religions. In a righted position, Christ's head...
Check it out. I have Michelle Remembers. I have the book. Who is it by? Let me write it in citation kind of notation or whatever. It was by Michelle Smith, all right? Smith, comma, Michelle, dot, Michelle Remembers, dot, 1980. All right, this is the book Michelle Remembers by Michelle Smith, the woman that claimed that she was subjected to satanic ritual abuse. Here's the cover of it. Michelle Remembers, the true story of a year-long contest between innocence and evil, by Michelle Smith and Lawrence Padzer, MD. Oh, yeah, he married her. He married his patient. I forgot about that. She was... Oh, my God, dude. He pulled false memories out of her head and then married her. Oh, my God, bro. Michelle remembers V1. What do we got as far as like a table of contents goes? Forward, prologue, part 1, 2, epilogue, appendices, acknowledgments. How long is this book, I wonder? This book is, wow, 342 pages long. That's crazy. Just like 50 blank pages here. Acknowledgments, appendices. So the actual text of the book is only like 280 pages long or so, probably. Epilogue. Let me just jump to like a random spot. The table of contents was not very helpful. Do they really just list parts 1 and 2 in the table of contents? Are you kidding me? Yes, that is all that they list. That is not helpful at all. Thanks for nothing. Didn't even list the chapters? Look, there are 12 chapters just in page 99. Give me the chapters or something. I'm trying to tell you where I am. It's so awful. I've never felt so strange in all the time I've been talking to you about things and remembering things. Some of what's happening there just about scared me to death. Dr. Pazder spoke softly. Just let yourself tell me about it as you can. Michelle was breathing heavily. Just kind of a recap of what happened with these two. Pazder was her therapist and married her. I have a 2-year degree in substance abuse counseling, and like literally the first thing that I learned was that you never sleep with patients, literally ever, no matter what. Doesn't matter how cute you think they are, how funny their laugh is, you don't date them because there's a power imbalance between the patient and the doctor. You don't date them. You don't do it. Padzer married her after supposedly helping her pull memories out of her head or whatever. It's like the height of ethical impropriety, like professional impropriety. You don't do that shit, man. And he's sitting here like writing, or I guess she's writing about this, talking about how she was breathing heavily and everything else. This is just disturbing, bro. The place is all funny. There's all kinds of candles and someone's playing the organ, not the musical instrument, but the body part playing the organ, I bet. Okay, you see there's no door, just a place that's dark, a round hole. That's where the music is coming from. I don't like the music. It bothers me. It sounds like a grating on a chalkboard. Just goes, It's all creepy. That nurse has her black thing on. I was told I had to stay by her. She gets me all dressed up in this red thing just like a ghost. That's the first time in ages I have anything clean on. All these people are walking into the room in a long line, slow like a funeral march. Again, like everything she's writing here was found to be fictitious. It was false memories pulled out by a pseudo-scientific psychology technique that shouldn't have been used at the time and isn't used today, because you can't tell which memories are false and which ones aren't. And this unethical doctor, after pulling false memories from her, married her. This is just so whacked out. That nurse has her black thing on. I was told I had to stay by her. She gets me all dressed up in this red thing just like a ghost. That's the first time in ages I have anything clean on. All these people are walking into the room in a long line, slow like a funeral march. They're coming through that dark hole, and they all have black things on, but you can't see their faces because they all have these big hoods. Everyone's carrying a kitten. Oh my God. Don't do this. I don't like it. Then they get in a circle and start mumbling and moaning like they all have stomach aches. Then I see my mom, all in white. She acts like she doesn't see me, so I stick my head out and yell, "Hi, Mom." The nurse smacked me and told me not to be stupid. I wasn't being stupid. That was my mom. I know everything that had gone on. I know from the hospital I'm never going to trust her again. I know that. But when I saw her walk into the room, I thought, my mom. Oh, she'd come to get me. I can go home now. But Malachi was right behind her. This is so sad, dude. None of this happened to her. This is all false memory. And she hates her parents now. This is really sad shit. Seriously, really sad shit for her parents. My mom went through this exact thing. Claimed all kinds of crazy shit about my grandpa, and it was all fake. And they forgave her nearly instantly once they went to a class at a local college about how false memory works. It was instantaneous. They understood, and they went back to it like everything was normal and like it never happened. Mad respect to my grandparents for that one. But this therapist tricked this woman into believing all of this shit. It's just wrong, bro. Wrong. Anyway, let's keep listening to this.
Towards heaven. In this position, it would point downward towards Satan and hell. By defaming a Christian symbol, the thought is that power is taken away.
The cross has power, and Satanists recognize that the cross has power, and so they turn it upside down so that the power of the cross is no longer present. Please, people.
The numbers 666. According to the Bible, these numbers, 666, are the mark of the beast. The pentagram. This inverted star points downward towards hell and Satan. It is a popular symbol, but has no meaning other than a satanic one, and there may be many different versions.
Wait, what was it again? Oh, this is just the, isn't this the Church of Satan's symbol, or is this a satanic temple symbol or something? I don't remember what this is, but yeah, it's just like a symbol, is all. Please.
But has no meaning other than a satanic one, and there may be many different versions. The voodoo vivi. As we saw in the park, it represents the type of ritual that occurs. The anarchy, which is the symbol of rebellion. And the swastika. In past history, this symbol has been used by witches and warlocks.
The anarchy? Is that what he just called it? I thought that was a swastika. What? Oh, no, okay, I'm sorry. The anarchy is this, okay? The symbol of anarchy, and the voodoo vivi. And then we've got the swastika, okay.
Anarchy, which is the symbol of rebellion. And the swastika. In past history...
Dude, I am getting bodied over here. Please tell me I have rays. Yes, I do. Oh, good.
This symbol has been used by witches and warlocks as a magic emblem. A glossary of selected terms. The altar. A table used for satanic rituals, normally a table of flat rock, but can also be a nude physical female being. The Antichrist.
Oh, the table can be a nude physical female being? Okay.
The Bible's book of Revelations describes him as the son of Satan, who will return and be present to receive his powers and challenge Jesus Christ during his second coming.
Okay.
The Baphomet. Described as a deity in the form of a goat-headed god with the wings of angels, the breasts of a female, and carrying a torch between his horns.
Yeah, I mean, the Church of Satan has a bunch of symbolism, so... Holy shit, dude, I'm getting messed up by this guy. All right, I gotta retry from the last battle.
Black magic. Magic that is used for destruction and hate.
So my dad used to believe that he could do black magic. He used to tell us stories about this as kids. He said that he could, like, create a Jacob's ladder with his arms, just put them up like this, and electricity would shoot between them. And he said that he, of course, it's all fake, but he said he used to see Satan all the time, and Satan would mess with him and all this shit. And it's like, oh my God, man, looking back on it, it's so crazy that he believed that stuff, or that my mom believed it. They fell right into the satanic panic shit. I am the end product of the satanic panic getting its grip into, like, getting its hooks into society. I guess I was the kid that they told all that satanic panic shit to.
Black Mass, the most diabolical ritual that can be performed by a Satanist. It entails a blasphemous communion with Satan, desecration of artifacts of Christianity, a mockery of the Holy Bible, and all things that Christians religiously cherish. The ceremonies involve assault.
Oh my God, dude. Well, it seems to me that if these people are participating in the ceremonies, then they don't, right? By definition. Seriously, somebody came up with this stuff. Somebody thought of this. This is like really disgusting stuff.
Sodomy, animal and human sacrifices, and often the slaughter of unbaptized infants.
Oh, please.
Blood, the life force. Satanists believe that the drinking of another person's blood, or that of an animal, increases their power and provides life force directly to Satan.
Nobody believes this, all right? You know what's interesting? QAnoners believe this stuff to this day, that people are doing this. QAnon is the new satanic panic, effectively, right? Like, they seem to believe that people are drinking the blood of, like, children that's been infused with adrenaline to freak them out and all this other stuff, and it gives them adrenochrome. I mean, it's just crazy. Crazy. And it's all nonsense.
The circle. The circle is the Satanists' protection from the forces they conjure up during their summoning and incantations. Coven. A group of non-traditional Satanists, not normally exceeding 13. Traditional Satanists do not have covens. Cult. A group of people who follow a leader who, through his charismatic ways, command allegiance, belief, and worship. Infamous leaders include Hitler, Crowley, Jim Jones.
Are you kidding? Okay, I'm sorry. Step back one more time. Listen again.
Traditional Satanists do not have covens. Cult. A group of people who follow a leader who, through his charismatic ways, command allegiance, belief, and worship. Infamous leaders include Hitler, Crowley, Jim Jones.
So you're telling me a cult is a group that follows a leader, right? Who is charismatic and commands belief and worship? That's not what a cult is. It's way more complex than that, but this is the traditional definition that was commonly used. Just nonsense all the way down. I thought they were saying occult when they said that. Hitler was not into the occult, contrary to popular belief. He was not interested in it.
Belief and worship. Infamous leaders include Hitler, Crowley, Jim Jones, and David Koresh. Devil. One such name of Satan, Lucifer, Leviathan, Prince of Darkness.
Leviathan is Satan? I've never heard that one. That's new. That's new to me. Coven was also a rock band from the 60s. Really? Okay. Hey, maybe it's connected. Maybe they just don't like rock and roll. They certainly don't.
Goat's head, the symbolic identification of Satan in the world. Grottos. Countless Satanists in one.
This is bullshit. This grotto thing, it's total nonsense. This was actually perpetuated by a guy by the name of Stephen Dollins. I call him the Pokemon. He's the Pokemon. And he made a bunch of claims about Pokemon being like this satanic evil thing that he worshipped when he was, I don't even know. Said that he's a big famous Satanist, that he ran a quote-unquote grotto and all this other shit. And again, I covered this on my Unfiltered channel like forever ago. And it was all bullshit at the time. It was all bullshit, all the way down.
One order or organization. Hand of glory. The left hand of a person who has died. The hand is removed from the body, pickled, embalmed, and...
The hand is pickled?
Mummified. It is then used to ward off evil spirits.
This is just bullshit. I have never heard of this before, and somebody sat there and came up with this shit. This is like really disgusting shit. Seriously. Who thought of this? Who came up with this?
The head. Satanists believe that the head is the most important part of the body. They often eat the brain to receive...
Bro, who came up with it? This is like disturbing as shit, okay? Please stop.
Powers of the deceased person. The heart. Satanists believe it to be the center of life. By eating the heart, they believe that assumption of the deceased's characteristics and powers will be thus transferred. Host. Normally using blessed communion wafers, symbolic of the body of Christ, Satanists insert them into the altar.
Why? Why? Why are you like this? These people are disgusting, bro. Who thought of this?
Or physically stomp, thus desecrating Christian beliefs. Lucifer. When cast out of heaven, he was followed by 1/3 of all the angels. Pagans. Those who practice witchcraft, the worship of nature as well as multiple gods. Satan. An angel created by God, cast out of heaven, and now the object of worship by Satanists throughout the world. Succubus. A female demonic force that copulates with human males. Incubus, a male demonic force that copulates with human females.
I'm sure I don't need to say it. This is all complete BS, all the way down.
And witchcraft, the practice of the old religion which focuses on the goddess in her many forms.
Okay, that was disturbing as shit. Thank you for that.
Perhaps one of the most despicable crimes in general, and in particular among Satanists, is that involving a child.
Oh, here we go. They're going to get even more disturbing, aren't they?
In every state in the nation, there are reports and investigations of satanic crime and satanic ritual abuse. More than 2 million American children each year are reported missing, many of them too young to be runaways.
No.
In addition, more than 5,000 unidentifiable bodies of children are found annually in the United States.
Physical abuse was a part of keeping me silent. My fingers were burned on a stove. I was forced to watch
Like, really, who came up with this? This is horrific.
pets killed and put in an oven, and I was told that if I talked, the same thing would happen to me. They would dismember bodies and
None of this happened.
then hang me upside down over a vat. I think it was acid, I'm not sure, but there were
Holy Christ, bro.
body parts, and they told me they would lower me.
What is wrong with them? Not as disturbing as, no, I'm not going to get into that now, right?
Into the acid if I ever talked about this.
What's this drawing supposed to be? Why are they showing us these drawings? I don't understand. What am I looking at?
And one memory I had, in order to get the blood, they used me as the person to get the blood from. It was basically the lamb.
The blood boy, if you will. The blood girl, I suppose. She was the lamb, I see.
Child of God. And they would put pins and needles in between my fingers, and I would be bled so that they could have communion.
Oh my God, dude. You know why this bothers me? Or let me rephrase. You know what else bothers me? This is very similar to when people just make shit up about addicts, for example. When I was in addiction and coming out of it, I used to hear people all the time say they knew a guy that used to shoot up between his toes. No, you didn't. There's no vein between your toes. That's obviously visible and easy to access. Nobody would do that. You know where they do it instead? Their leg, their hand, not between their toes. There are tendons between your toes, and you don't want to go sticking sharp shit in there. It's like people just say things for the sake of saying it. Like they don't have any idea what's going on. They don't know. And it drives me nuts. They formed to combat Satanism. In the end, were responsible for at least 15 murders after the cult leader convinced them the victims were either working for Satan or needed to die to protect innocent children. Wow, I hadn't heard of that. That does not surprise me at all, though. Last podcast on the left is covering it right now. Interesting. Yeah, I haven't heard of that. That's crazy.
Another way to keep me silent was to use a gun. Pornography, child prostitution brings in big money.
For Satanists, you see.
And I was not to talk about that either. And I was threatened to be killed if I talked, as well as burned.
She was burned and threatened with being killed if she talked about all this. And of course they don't show her identity. Right, okay.
They use cigarettes and other forms of burning to keep me silent. And I had a pet bird that they killed in front of me.
This is like really depraved shit. And, this is a perfect example of propaganda, the big lie style propaganda. The more detailed a story is, the more believable it is. And it's just wild to me that these people shamelessly, stone-faced, tell these flagrant, brazen lies to people. I mean, I guess they're not doing it about this subject as much as they previously were. Greg Locke is still doing it, though.
And then I was put in a cage. And so as a young child, I made the association that if I were in a cage, then I must be like the bird. And if they can kill the bird, they can easily kill me too. Remembering comes out in poetry as well, and my pet bird was killed in front of me, and I was also forced to participate in the murder of babies.
No, she wasn't. She wasn't. Like, if all of this stuff happened, I'm pretty confident the cops would have blown this wide open and there would be police reports about it. Hell, there should be police reports about it anyway, even if it wasn't blown wide open. There should be something, anything. Show us where this happened. Give me literally anything. None of it happened. This is all fabricated. What's the term? There's a term for it. Fabricated moral panic from the 80s and the 90s, and it's fascinating to go back and look at how this moral panic progressed. I'm reading about moral panics right now, actually, specifically the satanic panic, but I intend to read about moral panics more generally soon. There's a book called, oh God, I don't remember what it's called now, Moral Panics, maybe, by Owen, and he goes into great detail about how moral panics work, how they started and how they progress, and some of the most famous ones in history. It was written before the satanic panic, though, which I actually appreciate because I don't really want a book that's like biased by a recent moral panic to kind of describe moral panics generally. I mean, that's useful. It can be useful, but I'd really rather examine moral panics generally and see how kind of the guide applies to new moral panics that have happened since. So anyway, that's pretty interesting. I'm going to be giving that a read soon. I've already started on it a little bit. But yeah, this is all moral panic shit. All of it. It's insane to me that people buy this shit. Insane.
And so I wrote a poem about not being able to talk about that. Birds and babies, go away. Mustn't tell, mustn't say. Mommy will get mad at me. Must pretend I do not see. Nothing happened, don't remember. Helter skelter, now dismember.
She wrote a poem. She wrote a poem about this. Now we got a poetry slam happening here. Really? This is insane. I gotta write this one down. 39. Woman wrote a poem about satanic ritual abuse. God, like, moral panics have such a grip on society. It's crazy.
Witches chant and babies burn. Mustn't talk, it will be my turn.
This music is just bad.
Symptoms characterizing satanic ritual abuse and sexual abuse in preschool-aged children. Low self-esteem, feeling of being bad.
Oh my God, please. Yeah, this is evidence that kids are being satanically ritually abused if they have low self-esteem.
Child feels deserving of punishment. Child is fearful, clingy, regresses to baby behavior.
Evidence of satanic ritual abuse, please.
Separation anxiety. The child is angry and aggressive. The child acts wild, uncontrolled, hyperactive.
This is, of course, before ADHD diagnoses existed, right? I assume. I'm not sure. And it's also, I assume, before at least widespread diagnoses of autism. I think the first guy to ever be diagnosed with autism died recently, like not too long ago, surprisingly. These people are insane.
The child is accident-prone or deliberately hurts himself.
Accident-prone? Wow, a kid that's accident-prone couldn't be anything other than Satanism, right? I've never heard of a kid being accident-prone in my entire life, outside of Satanism, of course.
The child is negativistic. The child...
You know, a lot of these things are actually evidence of abuse, just straight up plain abuse. Not like satanic ritual abuse, just abuse. And the fact that people are like, what is it, downplaying or like redirecting the blame, I guess, redirecting it to this psychotic, ridiculous garbage is harming children, actually. It is hurting kids who need help, who may need help, because people are actually hurting them.
Is over-compliant with authority.
You know, when I was little, I was not abused by my family. Little. I mean, when I was 8, my siblings were the target of physical abuse, not me. And my mom also. It wasn't until my siblings moved out that I became the prime target of my dad's ire. Anyway, I was how would I put I didn't pay close attention to things like this. I read some report from a teacher on me recently. Like, apparently it was stored in some bin that my mom had for years. I don't even know. And they basically said that I didn't, my reading comprehension was good if I was interested in it. Otherwise, I paid like basically no attention to anything. I just didn't seem to like have any interest in anything. And I got bad grades when I was little. Now we know, of course, that it wasn't because I was stupid or because I was, just incapable of whatever. It wasn't because of any of that. It was just because it bored me to tears. More than likely, I would say that's probably the most likely explanation. It bored me to tears. Now, what they're describing here is what seems to me things that happen. I mean, I fell into these categories, but I was not being abused at the time when I was little, like really little. So I'm not sure, like, what they expect. Like, none of this stuff was produced by a legitimate source of, like, psychology information or whatever. Like, all of this is from religious nutcase sources. So, I guess I'd be tentatively willing to accept that this stuff is signs of actual abuse. Sure, yes, of course it is. But that's not like the source is given it to us shouldn't be trusted anyway. The child's speech production decreases? I'm not sure what that means.
There are somatic complaints, stomach aches, nausea and vomiting, nightmares.
See, this is evidence of Satanism. Nausea, vomiting, nightmares. Come on, man. Anyway, let me know what you think about this in the comments. This is nuts, bro. This is nuts.